Okay, if you've never used Meet before, it's a really simple tool for doing video conferencing and a great way for you to be able to communicate face-to-face with your students. You can see here I am in the Google dashboard. So Meet is available through here. You can see it on the left-hand side, the Meet icon there. You can also find it through the waffle menu up here. If I just scroll down, you can see we've got Meet. Either way, if we click on that icon, it will take us to the Meet screen. So setting up a new Meet is really straightforward. You'll find the interface for Meet is really quite simple overall to get your head around. On the main screen, it links with your Google Calendar. So if you've got any Meet codes in Google Calendar, then you'll be able to see those appointments already showing up. I'm just going to hit join or start a meeting for the moment. So if you didn't have anything set up for your students, you wanted to get them to go meet you online, you'd click join or start a meeting, and you've got the option here to put in a meeting code or a nickname. You don't have to put anything here, but you could. So I could just put in a tutorial and then hit join. And that's going to create a new meeting. And with it, it's going to create a meeting code that I can then share with my students. So it's going to pick up that I've got a webcam. If you've got a Chromebook or you're on a mobile phone, use the Meet app, but it will pick up the camera from there, and it should also pick up your microphone. So we've got the options here, and these are common throughout Meet. Turn off microphone will mute the microphone on the meeting, and turn off webcam will just switch it off so people can't actually see you. So if you need some privacy briefly, then you can turn your webcam off and turn it back on again when you're ready. When you're happy that your webcam is set up, that your background isn't too distracting, if you're at home, make sure that you haven't kind of left your dirty pants lying around anywhere. There's nothing that's going to be too embarrassing for your students to see. You might wish to point the webcam at a blank wall with you in front of it, or a pretty picture, or even just hang a bed sheet behind you if need be, if you want to maintain some privacy. You don't like the idea of students being able to see into your home. But once you're ready there, you can see we've got here Animal Studies tutorial. No one else is here. I haven't shared the link with anyone, so I wouldn't expect it. I've got the option to join now or present. Present is always going to be to share a screen with them. So if you want to have a set of slides or anything like that, you can present those slides from your screen. But for now, I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to hit join now, and that's going to put me into the meeting room. And I'm immediately given the options of how to share this with students. So we can see got animal tutorial. I'm going to kill. No, I'm not. So I can share that nickname and then on Meet to come and join it. I'll only work, as you can see, within here. Or there was the joining information. Computer's struggling. Okay, there we go. Right. So I'm just going to kill down for the moment here, because the computer's struggling to cope with both. This is what you see when the webcam's been killed as well. So along the bottom, we've got Animal Studies tutorial, and if I click on that, I get the joining information that was there before. It will come up in a second. Here it is. And I've got the option to copy joining information. So what I would do normally is I would copy that. I would go into Classroom and I would paste that link into the stream for the students to know. They can click on this link here, meet.google.com/ and then you get a code that is specific to your particular Meet, and they'll be able to then join that. If I close that menu down, across the bottom, and we've got mute microphone, we've got the option to hang up, we've got the option to control the webcam. Coming across to the right, we've got turn on captions. If I just turn those on for a second, this is quite a good idea, especially if you've got students who don't have access to the audio side of things on their devices for whatever reason. They can just read along. It's not perfect subtitles, but given that they're subtitles on the fly, it seems like it's a pretty good way of doing things and keeping your meetings accessible to as many students as possible, which, let's face it, is part of the goal here. We're trying to keep things inclusive. We're trying to make your students feel like they're connected, and the more we can do to help that sense of connection, the better. I'm just going to turn those off again for the moment. Present. Now, if I choose this, it gives me the options to present my entire screen or choose a particular window. I suspect if I do this, my poor computer is going to fall over and have a hissy fit, so I'm not going to do it right now, but have a play around with it on your own computer and you can see what that is. But it's quite good if you're wanting to give feedback on a piece of work, then you could actually bring up the piece of work in a separate tab, present that in the meeting to just one student. I wouldn't do this obviously to a group of students, but if you've got a one-to-one meeting with the student, then that's a great option to be able to go through and effectively have the work in front of you as you're talking. On the man over here, if we bring up the menu, again, we can see variations. So we've got the option here to record meeting. This is a new feature that Google have put out to everybody until July the 1st. It is normally just an enterprise feature, but this is brilliant. And I would strongly recommend that any teacher who is having conference calls with students record the meeting. You need to tell the students that that's happening. And I would suggest that if they don't want to be in the recording, then they can turn their webcams off if necessary. I'd keep yours on personally so that they can see your face. But that just gives you an extra layer of protection, that if people start saying that you've been meeting with students and anything inappropriate has happened, you actually have recordings of that contact. Obviously, we hope that nothing like that would ever happen, but it's there as a bit of a safeguarding tool. So I would strongly recommend any meeting with students that you record that. It's also a good idea if you're happy to do it, if you're presenting lessons online, record it, and then you can put that recording up onto Classroom, so any student who couldn't access at the time can also access at that point. And to be honest, those people who are in the lesson may appreciate being able to go back and looking at your lesson a second time, perhaps catch up on what they missed. So record meeting should be an option for most people. If it's not an option for you yet, check that your admin's turned on the ability to record. And then if it isn't there straight away, then they may need to turn it off and on again. That's come up a couple of times, but it's certainly something in Bridgend College we've got the ability to do. Change layout just enables you to change. I've got nobody else in here, so it's there we go. It's giving me some options here. Auto is generally the best way. It's looking at how many people are active in the call and trying to provide the best method. You will highlight the person who's speaking. So most of the time that could go well, but it gets a chance to join in there. If you carry on down this menu, there we go. Again, we've got turn on captions. We've got options for settings here. These really simple settings, particularly exciting here. So here we go, this is where you change which microphone. So if you need to switch devices for any reason, you can do that. Likewise, with the video, you can change the definition. If it's really stuttering, if the Wi-Fi is having issues, then you can alter what sort of definition video is being sent and received by your computer. And I think my computer hates me right now. I'm just going to make it crash because that's really fun to do when you're doing a screencast. Let's just shut that down for the moment. Make this go screen as well, particularly if you're on a small Chromebook. That can be particularly helpful. So we have the full screen option just here. If you're having issues, you can actually dial in to a meeting and use phone for audio instead. So you've got the webcam aspect going through the Wi-Fi, but then use telephone lines for the voice aspect. I wouldn't recommend that in the UK. I believe it's an American number, but you can have a look and try if that's appropriate. Up the top, just so you're aware of what we've got here as well, you can see how many participants are in the meeting. At the moment, it's just me. But if other people joined, we would get a list of people down here. You can invite people directly from email addresses by using add people as well. And the comments box icon here for chat enables people to have a side conversation without interrupting whoever's speaking. So with students, I would recommend they use this if they've got questions rather than trying to interrupt you, because it gets really hard doing a video call if everybody's speaking at the same time, that they effectively put their hand up in the chat by asking the question there. So keep an eye on it, and then you can respond to those questions as people have it. Okay, I'm just going to come out of this meeting and show you one other way to set things up. So if we just go to calendars, you can see here calendar. I'm afraid my calendar looks a bit messy, so forgive the craziness in it when it does load. But all events can be turned into online meetings fairly easily. So I have timetables. If I jump ahead to a more normal looking week perhaps, I tend to have my timetable put into calendar, so I can choose to add things in here. So if I edit this event, it would normally be a class that I would speak to face-to-face, obviously in a classroom, but all events have this option here for add conferencing. So if we select add conferencing, we see Hangouts Meet. All I need to do is click that and it generates a meeting code. So anybody who's invited into that event automatically has access to the meeting code, and you can just right click and copy link address very often, and then copy that into Classroom to share that with students if needed. So I have the meeting code already set up in advance in my calendar, and just share the codes as I need them with the students, so they've got that. Hopefully that will help you get started. If you get stuck, please contact myself. I'm on @PTD on Twitter, or email me, pdunford@bridgend.ac.uk. And there's lots of people around who can help you, so please feel free to reach out, and we'll support you as best we can. Thank you.